This is Big Bob with my 2 bobs worth, and you don't get much for 2 bob these days. A kind of hush fell over the crowd as the final siren sounded, with the realisation that we were no longer a viable finals prospect. So, as we silently wait at the very pedestrian crossing west of the flesh pots of Honey Street, en route from game to pub, the mood is sombre, and in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, eyes stabbed by the flash of a neon light, all sharing the same quintessentially Adelaidean doubts and bitter concerns for the dark tunnel that our team is in, a tunnel with no end in sight, wondering where is the light at the end going to come from and when. What does the future hold? We are the walking wounded, the collateral damage, weary, depleted, defeated, until, as we round the corner, something changes. The steps quicken, the bitter taste of defeat begins to subside, a wave of anticipation, hope. Is it? Is it open? The signs are promising. The warm glow of, how better to assuage the bitter taste of defeat than with the bitter taste of a pint or two. As is a well-known fact, nuance is a complex matter, not easily digested over less than 1 or more pints, and nuance is most certainly required when considering a loss such as that. When the odds were in our favour, we looked to certainty on paper, but as is also another well-known fact, many a certainty proves to be a bad bet. Especially when so many of our players find it so difficult to find the football, run back to plug up the hole and demonstrate an uncanny inability to rekindle the DNA that's synonymous with the brand identity of the club that as a whole we want to promulgate. Not a glimmer remains with regards to booking a place in September at the G. Put simply, we lack the inherent organic growth in potential terms required to arrest the negative momentum that plagues the players and coaching staff alike, despite having pulled all the available levers and cogs, alas, to no avail. To say our bounce-back ability is lacking would be an understatement. We started on the wrong foot from the first bounce and now find ourselves we are on the back foot, in danger of treading on the stumps. As the old saying goes, things have gone awry, but they could go awryer. Moving on to the controversial and much discussed mid-year rule change scenario that has been mired in controversy and precipitated a war of words in the media, and so I might as well throw my hat in the ring too. Without getting into the hypotheticals and analysis of the processology that led to the aforementioned changes, let's just say that they have precipitated a spate of incidents and a litany of eye-wateringly questionable decisions that have left the players, the fans, the commentators in a state of confusion hitherto unimaginable. The umpires have taken the opportunity to assert their God-given right to stamp their authority on the game and, rightly or wrongly, swooped on the changes like the proverbial seagull on a dim sim on a cool day and proceeded to adjudicate a string of overreaching and, dare I say it, match-changing blunders as they have interpreted the rules with scant regard for the fabric of the game as we know it. And that has left the fans disgruntled and foaming at the bit. Because, as you well know, it is a fine line in the sand to straddle when one bad umpiring decision can tip a game over the edge one way or the other, when there's nothing between the two sides and consequently leads to a result that is beyond the pale in terms of common sense and their respective positions on the ladder at the end of the day. The question remains, when will the light at the end of the tunnel emerge? And if so, from which end? I'll leave you to ponder that one, as it's morning lunchtime, and it's imperative that Wally gets down to the bakery before the sausage rolls sell out and the Berliner buns, otherwise heads will roll. You've been hearing and feeling Big Bob with my 2 bobs, whether you like it or not, and with the cost of living escalations going ever skywards, you don't get much with 2 bob these days. Until next time, it's tough out here, living and working on the land. Hooroo.